Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
With a nasty temperament. Ice, well, his watch is working as well as ours. No, there it is. How about it?
Got your attention?
Damn! What is the biggest ick?
People like wrestling.
You can suck my fucking dick!
All right, folks, it's Thursday night, and it is Thursday night Sweet Chin Music. We're here to talk wrestling. We've got Biggie, Boston Chris, who's away from his chair right now, and we got Papa Wheelie, your host, and there's me, Beckerman. Let's talk wrestling tonight, guys. How's everybody doing?
Good, good. I think Pop's doing okay. You know, I can't speak for Chris, but he's doing all right, I guess, and you've been doing pretty good, and glad to be here for this episode.
Heck yeah, man. We got for a change of pace, we've got an agenda tonight. Sorry, Pop.
I am good.
Good.
Good to hear, buddy. TM Nerdy in the chat, Great Legend in the chat. Hey, guys, what's happening? Thank you for joining us tonight. And yeah, let's just break into it. Yesterday, Biggie, was Owen Hart's 60th birthday, would have been. And that Zombie Sailor toys that I like, they partnered with the Martha Hart Foundation, or the Owen Hart Foundation with Dr. Martha Hart. And they are releasing on Pro Wrestling Tees a pre-order for Owen Hart retro figurine. And it crashed the website yesterday. That so many people were interested. They crashed Pro Wrestling Tees. So yeah, man, pretty wild. What do you think it is that, like, all these years later, people just, I mean, I know why I love Owen Hart, but he still, like, commands such a level of love and respect, don't you think?
Absolutely. He was kind of like our Bret Hart that didn't complain as much, you know?
I have to say, I do love that I get, you know, that type of welcome. I love you guys too. Thank you so much. No, I'm just joking.
Oh yeah. Hey Boston, glad you could join us there.
Yeah. No. I was just joking. I know you're talking about Owen, and yeah, he definitely has a bunch of you know, just respect and everything else with the industry, just because of the fact that he, you know, went way too soon. He was undervalued as a talent, and really, I mean, it's sad that you know, it took his death for people to really, like, you know, I guess appreciate what he did. So he was very good, very, very good.
What's up, D? How are you doing tonight?
Doing good, man.
Nice.
Any thoughts on the legacy of Owen Hart? We're just kind of breaking into the show. We're going to talk about Owen for a while.
So this is back in the day where pay-per-views were ordered through your cable television provider.
Yes.
And if you tuned into the channel for the pay-per-view, it was scrambled. And I remember watching that happen live with the scrambled TV. And you know, usually I would go to, like, the Spice Network, which was the porno pay-per-view. Because once in a while, man, you'd see a nipple, and that just, like, when you're like 12 years old, that just made your damn day. But that day, like, it was so surreal to hear Jerry Lawler. Because when he's being an announcer, he's doing a real character. His voice is different and everything. And then, like, when JR, like, was trying to explain without saying too much, and he's like, "This doesn't look good, King," and then Lawler, just like a normal man and human being, is like, "No, this doesn't look good at all." Like, and he said it like a normal person. Like, I was like, "Oh wow, I think this is real." and I couldn't see it. I couldn't see anything. And they cut, even the people that weren't watching it scrambled, they did cut the feed, and didn't show, the accident. But no, man, it was tough, man. And when you find out that he was, being put into a really crappy gimmick because he didn't want to, do the storyline with Deborah where he was cheating on his wife, and he didn't want his kids to see him making out with another woman on TV. So
Yeah.
Vince hated him for that and put him in that blue blazer gimmick, which, Vince didn't know he was killing him when he did it, but it sucks that it happened.
Yeah.
Well,
And
the thing
I
too.
think go ahead,
I
Bob.
was gonna say the thing too with that Deborah storyline that he wanted. I mean, his kids were like very young. I mean, at that time, so it would have been a mess to see that. For them to be able to see something like that and then what's going on? Like, because I want to say that they might have been, I want to say in between like 3 and 6 or something like that. Like that's not what you want to have a little kid like that, seeing. So
I think his oldest was born in 1987, and that would have been 99. So 12.
Okay.
Would have been his oldest, but there were
Yeah.
younger ones. I can't remember how old his kids are. I just know in 1987, one of his reasons for not signing with WCW was because he didn't want to move his family from Canada to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Because he had just had a kid.
Yeah.
Dude, and for the younger kids, that's harder to explain. Like, you could probably reason with the 12-year-old and be like, hey, this isn't real. This is why dad has money. This is why you have cool things. But the littler kids, you can't explain. Dude, I'm not kidding you. I once saw my dad on I don't remember the game show, but it was a nationally televised game show. And I was like 4. And I didn't understand the concept of TV. And I thought I'd lost my dad forever because he was stuck in the TV.
What show was your dad on? I'm intrigued.
I don't remember the name of it. I'm not trying to hide it. Like I know he didn't win any money because we were still poor, but but I just remember like crying uncontrollably because my dad was stuck in the TV and I'll never see my dad again. And I didn't know how TV worked back then.
Well, the other thing I wanted to talk about for legacy is I think another thing about Owen's legacy that's helped keep it alive and keep it like with such a positive like thoughts. One, how he died so tragically young, but also his wife, like, she sued the WWE, but then took their money and made a foundation out of the majority of it. She kept very little of that and kept his name alive, and she's been very protective of Owen's legacy. It kind of curated his legacy. So like she wouldn't let Vince McMahon put him into the Hall of Fame. Like that grudge is real, and I don't blame her. Like, I mean, I think any spouse that had their loved one taken away from them so young, like, and they were high school sweethearts. So even though he was only 34, they'd been together for 20 years.
Yeah, and the thing too, like, I mean, and that goes with everything. That's why there's never been an Owen Hart DVD. There's never been a WWE Owen Hart DVD. Let's put it that way. Like, he's not in the video game.
There ain't a lot of toys either. There isn't. And that's what made this toy yesterday such a big deal. I don't know if you heard that part, but Zombie Sailor Toys, the toy I like the brand I like, they yesterday announced on Owen's 60th birthday that they did get the rights from Martha Hart to do a figure, and it's in the pink and black. It looks great. It's got the glasses and everything, and they partnered with Pro Wrestling Tees to release it. And dude, for the first few hours, the website was crashed because they got such a high influx of people to buy the figure pre-order that it crashed the website. And that's what made me want to do this as a topic, because I was like, man, so many years after his death, 1999, and the guy still has the fan base.
Oh yeah. And the thing that I always find it kind of cold that that when it came to that type of stuff, like the merchandising and stuff like that, no one outright said like they let it be heavily implied. Oh, like his wife is just being mean about all this and she won't do it. And it's just like like they definitely like to paint her as the villain, and kind of they like there has been some stuff where they painted her as like, oh, like she's just overly emotional and she doesn't need. And it's just like, dude, like you might want to step back on that one. They don't push hard on it just because it's something where it's just like it was a needless death. But it definitely is something that like people have definitely been told that like, well, we don't have any Owen stuff. Well, talk to his wife about it because she's the one but she's got a she actually has a good enough excuse as to why she doesn't do it. His kids are smart enough to it too. So it's just like they definitely do all they can to honor that man, and I think that's a special thing.
So we've talked legacy. Let's go around the horn and talk matches. What's when you think of Owen Hart, what's a match that comes to your mind? We'll start with Biggie.
I mean, the one that everybody I would think would remember is the WrestleMania against his brother, and I'm having a hard time remembering. I don't think either one of them were champions. They were going for like the King of Heart thing kind of deal.
So do you mean the night that Brett went on to win the title off Yoko later in the night?
Yeah, it's WrestleMania 10.
Yeah, that's WrestleMania 10.
But it was a big.
I just remember they had a good match.
No, it was a great match. And you're 100% right. There was no title on the line. It was basically just like, who is the better brother? Like, who was the better wrestler of the brothers? Was
oh, that's right. So you had a couple guys in the corner. I think Davey Boy was on Owen's side or Brett's, and the other side was like another one of the brothers or something, right? And they had to throw the towel in. Was that the match? I think that was the way it went.
You're thinking of Martha Hart through the Owen tricked her to throw the towel in for Brett against Bob Backlund. Yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah. So I guess those two are my favorite. Then I kind of got them matched together, but yeah, Owen had some great stuff.
Brett and Owen had a great cage match too.
Yes.
Yeah. The Yoko tag team stuff are my three favorite things. I'll let someone else go, but yeah, that's all my favorite stuff.
Boston Chris.
All right, so I have a couple that are kind of off the beaten path with Owen. So you have two from New Japan Pro Wrestling. One was him versus another controversial figure now, but the Pegasus Kid, which is Chris Benoit. Back when, before any of the tragedy happened at all, him and Benoit had an amazing match in New Japan. And then he also had a really good match with Jushin Thunder Liger. If you've never seen them, definitely look them up. They're really it shows you how athletic Owen was. And he was clearly the more athletic of the Hots. He was just that good. And the other one, I'd say like a WWE match that stood out a lot was him and Brett versus the Steiner brothers. That's one of the best, I would say, tag team matches that didn't really. It was one of those ones that's a curtain sellout type thing where it's just like no one's actually going to win, but for a draw, they showcased how good all four guys in that ring were.
D.
So I'm just being really honest here. I don't like to wax on nostalgia that I don't really hold on to. I became a fan of wrestling when Owen Hart was the Blue Blazer.
Okay.
So I wasn't super into wrestling before then. I've obviously done research to get to know some of the history of wrestling, but I don't go back and watch a ton of it. To me, a lot of what's fun about wrestling is seeing the week by week story unfold, not just watching great matches. Like, I love the matches, but a big part of it for me is the male soap opera of the week to week happenings of every character. And so it can be difficult for me to go back and invest a lot of time in watching a really great match when I don't see all the build up to that match. So I haven't watched a lot of Stone Cold matches. Probably the one I've seen the most of is one of his more infamous ones, and that's the one where he hurt Stone Cold Steve Austin. And you know, that's wrestling, man. Sometimes that happens. But yeah, that's probably the match I remember him for the most, unfortunately.
Yeah. That's interesting. I agree with you. Storylines are what pull me in. And for me, I encountered Owen. First match I ever saw him in was against Brett at WrestleMania 10. That was I rented it the day it came out and on VHS, and I loved it. I was like in the Monday Night Raw. I more knew him like by Camp Cornette when he was in the power group with Jim Cornette and Yokozuna.
Yeah, I love that.
I hated his guts.
No, I didn't hate him. I was a mark for him, but yeah, go ahead.
But when he teamed with Brett and they did the anti-American pro-Canada stuff, that I was such a Bret Hart fan that I couldn't fully like hate that, but I still disliked Owen something fierce. And then as I got older, you know, a few more years went by. By 98, I was going back and watching his stuff from Japan, and I had seen like the length of his career basically, and I really liked him a lot. And unfortunately, we lost him the next year. So
yeah,
at the time I appreciated the guy, he was almost at the end of his career.
He also had a team with, I think it was the bird guy, right? Kamala? Or not Kamala, Coco. Him and Coco.
Yeah, him and Coco were tag team partners 2 different times.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. High energy, right? He was also in WCW for a little stint. If you
yeah, never officially signed with them, but did some work with them, and they brought him in a few different times, and he would have signed with them, but they wanted him to move to Atlanta.
I mean, honestly, dude, he was the athlete out of him and Brett. He did the more high-flying moves. He did the more, I mean, he wasn't like, he could mat wrestle. He could do all that stuff. And I think he'll always be remembered, at least at the very smallest, like for the best brother versus brother. I don't know about Tory Funk and Terry, but I didn't get to really, I've seen the match, but I would say that Brett and Owen put on a better show.
His cage match with Brett almost ruined me for cage matches for a long time because nothing compared to those two.
They were good, dude, especially together. You could tell they wrestled each other a lot, dude. So, yeah.
Hey, one of the weird impacts that this his passing had, and a lot of people forget about this. So I was a real big fan of WCW at that time. And at the time, his brother Brett was in a rivalry with Kevin Nash, and they were going to wrestle on the Tonight Show, with Jay Leno, with like live on the Tonight Show. The Tonight Show is not recorded live; it's not aired live. But they were going to wrestle on the Tonight Show, the Monday after that pay-per-view. And it was to be Bret Hart versus Kevin Nash. They'd been setting it up for weeks, and I was really looking forward to seeing that on the Tonight Show. And obviously, they canceled the match because of what had happened. But yeah, that was a weird side effect. Like there was going to be a pro wrestling match between Bret Hart and Kevin Nash on the Jay Leno Tonight Show.
Dang.
And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is, another thing about Owen is you don't really, and part of this could be because of he passed away so young, but nobody really ever has bad stuff to say about Owen, except for, Steve Austin did hold the grudge, and I don't blame him. He got injured by him pretty badly, and he wasn't apologized to as he told it, which is why he didn't go to Owen's funeral, or one of the reasons why he wasn't there. And but what I would say is, like, most people remember Owen as like the king of ribs, that him and Davey liked to play practical jokes, that they were pretty fun loving guys, and most people seem to really love Owen. Does anybody have any Owen Hart? Well, I guess we never really got to see him do interviews, but people about him and
Oh yeah.
anything come to mind?
Anybody want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I remember, one of the things I remember people saying about him was that like he didn't want to wrestle forever. Like he was somebody that was in it and you know, absolutely had the skills to be in it, but he was trying to make enough money to make sure that his family was secure so he could basically go back with them and work. I think he said that he wanted to be a firefighter, like go back, be a firefighter locally and stay around his family. So I remember people talking about that stuff with him, that you know, like even though he was very good at wrestling, it like his family was his passion. Like that's what he wanted to be around all the time.
Yeah. If I could sneak in there before D, I watch a lot of shoot interviews. That's one of my favorite things about wrestling, hearing these guys talk about old stories. So he would like do voices, and he would prank people and order pizzas, and one of his infamous go-tos was like taking your bag and hoisting it up 80 feet in the air. And I think he might have been involved in a couple of the like gimmicks where people would pee or defecate in their bags and stuff like that. And he came from that school of Fuji, and if you know Fuji, like he got to hang out with him and Yoko for a little while, and that must have been a gnarly rib team, Fuji and Owen together. Good Lord. So he was definitely the king of wrestling rib pullers, in my opinion.
Sorry, we skipped Pop. Pop, are you ready?
I think the two Slammies, Blue Blazer, Owen versus Bret at WrestleMania 10 and that SummerSlam in the cage. And Double J and Owen tag team. I think his career as a whole.
Yeah, he had a great career. I mean, for being only, you know, a little over 10 years, I mean, he did a lot, worked everywhere, and had some great matches, tag team, top in the tag team, and then also a really solid solo. I don't know if he would have ever won a world title. I mean, if he had made it a few more years, they put that thing on damn near everybody. So yeah, it was very possible. He was going to win the Intercontinental the night he died. So yeah, who knows? But I don't want to dwell too long on the sad part of him. On his 60th birthday, I thought it was the day after, but I thought it was a good thing to talk about tonight. Start our topic off. Up next, we can just do a little roundtable of anything anybody's been watching for wrestling this week, anything you've enjoyed. It can be old stuff, new stuff, whatever. Biggie, you want to lead us off?
Hold on. Can I didn't get to go on the last topic yet.
Shit.
Sorry. It's all good. It's all good, Becky.
No, you go, D. Go.
So one of the things Biggie talked about was Owen Hart pulling ribs on people. And one of the ones that I heard about that I thought was hilarious. So you remember the wrestler Test, Andrew Martin, who also passed away way too soon. Who did the world's best big boot. Like, mark that down right now. Owen Hart pulled a prank on him where they were getting ready to do Monday Night Raw, like it's the night before, and a huge snowstorm had came in. And the Owen called Test's room to ask, like, hey, you know, the weather's going to be really bad. Big snowstorm coming in. Are we sure we're going to do Monday Night Raw tomorrow? And, you know, Test was like kind of drunk and like kind of like gave like a weird answer. He was like, oh, you know, if it was up to me, I don't want people driving out there getting hurt. And then Owen is the one doing the prank. like says like, all right, well, hey, we're not gonna open the arena tomorrow. We're gonna keep it closed, and I'll let them know that Andrew Martin said that Raw is canceled tomorrow, and then he hung up. And so then Test, like the rest of the night, his real name was Andrew Martin, had to live with the fact that he canceled Monday Night Raw, and and he was tripping balls, freaked out about it. I thought that was when you hear about the people talking about Owen Hart, like that was my favorite prank that he pulled. Like, because at the time he was very new to the company, Andrew Martin Test. He had no pull. He could not have survived canceling Monday Night Raw with all the advertisement money that they get, and yeah, that was a good prank. He got that fucker good.
Yeah, he even got his dad good with one. Like I remember that one. He was Brett was telling the story about that. Like some old wrestler from way back in the day. Owen got on the phone and was just like, he's like, and it basically was saying to him, it's like, all them years back in the day, he's like, you thought, he's like, you never tested me, you never tried me. Why don't you try me sometime? It was that. He's like, I know I could have took you out. And then so like his dad was just sitting there, he's like, and anyone who knows, like anyone who's heard stories about Stu Hart's like really old school. So of course he takes it as a challenge. So he's on the phone like yelling and swearing. It's like, why didn't you try me? And if you wanted to try me, and then like he's sitting there screaming and yelling, and then eventually like Owen like starts just dying laughing, and like I guess he turned around and said, like, Brett's like, who are you yelling? He's like, that little bastard Owen, and he hung up the phone. Like, but it was just like, he even got his dad. Like he just pranked everybody.
Speaking of his pranks and his dad, during the whole what Davey Boy's wife's name, is it Diana? Yeah. So Diana Hart had that thing with Davey Boy and Shawn Michaels, that angle they shot where she was accusing Shawn of harassing her or whatever, and you want me, all that stuff. Well, during that whole thing, Stu's the one that put the kibosh on that because he didn't like that they were making his daughter out to look, in any sort of way disrespecting herself on TV. So this was a prank that really wasn't a prank. Jim Cornette was the booker for all of that, and the manager, and he Owen and Davey Boy have a phone like with the long extension cords, and they're like, hey, Stu's on the phone, wants to talk to you, Jim. And Jim was in the locker room, going through matches or whatever. And he's like, oh, I bet he does. And, they disappeared as soon as he grabbed the phone. He's like, this is these two. He knew Owen could do a Stu Hart impression. So he gets on, and sure enough, Stu's on. Like, he hears Stu's voice, and he thinks it's Owen the whole time. And Stu's like, you got Diana looking like a whore on there, and I don't like it. And he's like, oh, you don't like it, do you, Stu? And, he's getting a little sarcastic with him, being a little disrespectful because, again, he thinks it's Owen. All of a sudden, he looks back around, and now Owen and Davey are, like, eating, and they're in the doorway, and he realizes it's not Owen on the phone, and he's being a shit to Stu Hart, and he realizes Stu's starting to get mad at him. He's like, you know what, Stu, we're going to take care of this right away. We're going to get this this whole thing squashed. We're real sorry. Boom, hangs up.
That's funny.
Dude, that would be a real fucked up thing. Like, you think you're talking to Owen Hart giving you a prank, and you're actually talking to her dad. Like that. Oh my God. They had to have shit himself right there. Like, oh, fuck me.
Not even just for the embarrassment part, but it's like, Stu was, and like if you talk to anybody who has ever been around Stu Hart, like literally, like it comes up to you and starts trying to put you in holds and stuff like that. It's like JI used to say stuff all the time. It's like what are you doing? Because he started they started like just like cinching up on him on his shoulders. He's like, what are you doing, Stu? Like, leave me alone. So he was that kind of guy. So it's just like, I could see Jim Cornette getting just putting a hold by Stu Hart would be funny.
Yeah, I just think it's funny that, one of Owen's better pranks, and he didn't even have to do anything. But I do wonder, like, because even Jim said he never knew, like, did they know what they were doing by walking away? Made him think that it wasn't Stu on the phone.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, we've talked about Owen. Does anybody have anything else they want to say on the subject before we move on? Does anybody have any wrestling they watched this week they want to talk about before we go into Backlash?
I don't. You got anything, Chris?
Let's see. I mean, the only thing that I saw that was like a big deal, I guess, was the people that got released most recently from WWE, and then the other controversial thing was that they announced people that they were signing, and so I don't know, like it's still kind of up in the air. They're being kind of weird about it, but apparently Alberto Del Rio may or may not be under WWE contract again because of the AAA merger. So
I didn't think they were taking him, but yeah, I've heard the same thing, that it's not like officially no. So yeah, I don't know what they're thinking there. Hey to 90, by the way, and K-pop. I just want to acknowledge everybody in the chat. Guys, thank you for stopping in.
Yeah. I think one more thing I would like to say about Owen is that I think people like to think of him a lot because, you know, he has a heart, and he was damn near as good as his brother, you know, and his brother kind of got took from us because of his injuries, and he definitely had the potential. I know he was talking about saving up, like Chris said. I do believe that's true, because he was a family man. Like, he wanted to be with his kids for sure, and they did grind a lot back then. But being a fan, you always kind of had that, like, thought in the back of your head, like, if we wouldn't have had him took from us, that since Brett got took away, he might have been one of them guys that could, like, work in his 40s and maybe get over. And there was a lot of potential with him. I mean, there was some good matches. He had some good manias and stuff like that. But I could definitely see him getting over in the 2000s even, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. He would have been... It would have only gotten better for him because, I mean, the era that came right after he passed away, guys his size would have been the norm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, what does TM Nerdy have? Vote yes for Pete Davidson to take up wrestling. Stop it, TM. Just stop.
Good one, TM. You got him, dude. You win.
You got him. You got him, buddy. So Backlash, should we talk Backlash? Well, one thing about those releases, I was a little surprised to see Braun Strowman in that, only because I kind of thought maybe they would stick with him this time around, even because of the injuries and the fact that he did 2 pretty big jobs on his way out the door with terrible knees. I mean, you can tell he's moving hurt, right? Like the last few times I saw him, he looked awful.
No, Braun Strowman is the epitome to me of what WWE should get away from. He is physically too big to be wrestling the roster that they have. You know, I like to imagine, like, dude, if wrestling was real, Braun Strowman could not be beat. He would be, if Lesnar wasn't there, like, he would be fucking up everyone. And the fact that, like, you have Strowman on your roster and he's not the champ, that doesn't make sense. He's too big.
His last 2 matches were Jacob Fatu and Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
Or his last 2 feuds, I should say.
Yeah.
It was more than one match, but man, his legs did not look good. I mean, I hope he's done well financially with him, because I don't know if he can go anywhere else. I don't think he's got a lot left on those knees.
I think he's retiring.
Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah, I mean, it would make sense, but yeah, like I mean, he looked really limited when even in those, especially the Jacob Fatu thing. Like he didn't do a lot. So it like made sense that he lost. It made sense that he didn't look like any kind of threat to Jacob Fatu really. But yeah, I mean, like the list is pretty great. I would say the other one that kind of surprised me was Cora Jade. I figured Cora Jade, like they were trying to do more with her, in NXT and everything like that, and then they just kind of let her go. I would say
Chance is the 5-foot girl from Ninja Warrior, right?
No, she's a tag team. Her and Caden Carter are that tag team.
Yeah. Which one is the 5-foot Ninja Warrior girl?
I think
from the show American Warrior. I think it's Katana.
I'm sorry. Yeah, you might be right down. I thought you meant something different.
I can't remember. Her real name is Casey Canzaro or whatever.
Yeah, that's probably Katana Chance then.
The year I watched Ninja Warrior, she was very popular, and then she ended up signing with the WWE. And I saw her a few years later in NXT as Katana Chance, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right, they did sign this lady, and she didn't do a whole lot. Shayna Baszler is the only one I really see like. She could probably go to AEW and do well.
She probably will. Like if they, I mean, just because I would figure that they need women in their division to, just bolster it, number one, and then give it a little bit of legitimacy. I've heard that a lot of people have a lot of high praise for Dakota Kai too. So I mean, who knows where she'll end up? But it's just, like on there, I know that Braun Strowman, they said was cost-cutting measures. They said his contract was just too big. And it makes sense. They just signed a bunch of people. So, I mean, this cut after WrestleMania is customary. They normally do that. So, I mean, it's not as big of a list as most people would think, or as it has been in the past. But everybody... for the most part, all the NXT people have 30 days before they can go anywhere else. Anybody who's main roster is 90. So, and I think in the case of Shotzi, she can start right away. Like as soon as her contract's done, like she can do it. She has, whatever she wants to do. So
let whoever wants Shotzi to have Shotzi. She is awful. I just not a fan of her work. Brother Joe, I just wanted to say real quick. He had said earlier. He was actually there the night Owen passed away in Kansas City. He was in the building. So, I've talked with him about that before. Hey to Brother Joe. See you in a few weeks, buddy, at wrestling. He is one of the wrestling homies. Also, I saw, there's CJ Bleeker. If I didn't say it earlier, what's up, Bleak? But everybody say hi to Comic Journey. He likes it.
No hellos.
Yeah, but Pop, you got anything before I skip on to Backlash? Anybody? All right, let's do Backlash. So we've got the Backlash this weekend, right?
Yeah, it came quickly. It came very quickly.
It really did.
That's what she said.
Hey-oh. I'm only gonna. They have the speculated matches here, but. I'm going to just read off the confirmed. Up first, Intercontinental Championship, Dominic Mysterio versus Penta.
Yep.
Biggie? Any
Oh,
thoughts
yeah.
on that match?
Dominic, definitely. He's over. That's my pick.
Yeah, Dom retains. I wouldn't be surprised if they do a little bit more spillover with the Judgment Day and their whole like turmoil and but I think Dom retains.
Yeah, no, they will find a way to have Judgment Day interfere and Finn Balor get hurt in the process, and that will still provide the necessary distraction for Dom to retain. And so it'll further put a bigger split in the Judgment Day, and Dom gets to retain the title, and it'll build. They're going to build that to SummerSlam.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to that. That'll be a fun story.
How about Papa Wheelie, who's muted?
Well, he said in the chat, Dom wins.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. There's no way they're taking the title off of the heat-getting machine, Dominic Mysterio, and I mean his heat at this point is ironic heat. Like everybody who's booing loves him.
Yep.
He's the best part
Yes.
of Judgment Day. Definitely, he's going to retain the title. I agree. Up next, Biggie, we've got the United States Championship. Jacob Fatu versus Drew McIntyre versus LA Knight versus Damian Priest.
Holy shit! What a convoluted fucking match that sounds like. Yeah, I'll take Fatu. I hope he pulls it out. But I mean, if I was going to pick a second runner-up, who's the first guy you said against
LA
him?
Knight.
LA Knight. Drew
Damian Priest.
McIntyre.
Oh yeah, Drew McIntyre would be my second choice.
Jacob's winning. There's no. I mean, like they've built him into this indestructible monster, so he's gonna continue to be indestructible. I think they're gonna continue Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre's feud in that match. But yeah, Jacob Fatu's gonna defend the title and win a fatal 4-way.
D.
If they do want to take the belt off of Fatu, this would be the match because they don't want to make him look weak. They've built him up to look very strong. I do think that at some point they need to build a Fatu versus Solo match. And it might be too early for it, but I could I think Drew McIntyre would make sense to walk out with the belt, but
does he need it though?
No, and I don't know if he would want that belt. Like he did feel slighted at WrestleMania for fighting Damian Priest in a nothing match, and it's like they're putting him in another nothing match. I do actually think that it'll be Fatu that wins, but I do think that they're going to really push McIntyre like nuclear level after this match. Like they've had him do some jobs for CM Punk and gave him a very weak match at WrestleMania. Like they need to start taking care of Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, I gotta say, I kind of agree with Biggie and everybody else, Fatu, McIntyre in that order, but I don't entirely count out LA Knight because I think they're still toying with trying to do something with him. He'd be the only one that makes sense other than those two. Damian Priest, he's slipping further down the mid card to me.
Yep.
Into irrelevance. If they were getting ready to do a show in Puerto Rico, I might think they'd make a push for him. But other than that, I don't have a lot of faith in him. LA Knight maybe would make. I mean, he would probably be the one that would benefit the most of getting the title back. But I would just as soon leave it on Fatu for now, unless you got plans to move it off of him to move him up.
I couldn't see them doing it because what's the next step for him after that? Like it would have to be like world title. Like that's a little bit too quick.
Yeah, it should be an all right match. I would do all right if Damian Priest just went to get a soda or something.
Yeah, no, I think it'd be a good match. There's a lot
seeing him on my TV.
I would say. I mean, you could say like that could be the non-main event show stealer. I would say that might be like the best. I mean, it has potential to be the best overall match on the card.
The funny part is, coming out of the split with Judgment Day, I was really actually ready for Damian Priest to move up and to be a bigger deal. I really liked him in Judgment Day. I thought he was the coolest, toughest looking guy they had in that group. I liked him with, you know, being Dom's big brother, you know. I liked him for a while, but, you know, right after all of that, when they did that whole angle where they really kept trying to play up, you know, how he was a fat kid and how he was homeless and all that, Biggie Shaq said something to me where he was like, man, are they trying to just make this guy look like weak and not on top and not a big deal? I can't remember exactly how you said it, Big, but you basically said that they were killing him on the mic, you know, letting him talk the way they were. And I agree, because like slowly my interest in him waned.
He is absolutely terrible on the mic.
Yeah, he doesn't need to tell a long story, does he?
No, when he's part of a faction, it works because he's bouncing off of other people. It's not just him, but when he left Judgment Day, as a baby face, like that killed his momentum. He did
his Judgment Day angle with R-Truth.
Yeah, no, that was fantastic. Like R-Truth carried that, but when he got beat by Gunther at SummerSlam, made it very clear that he was only a transitional champion. And they didn't like that would have been a better run for Drew McIntyre, who did win the belt, but then Priest got him with the Money in the Bank.
No bugger.
Yeah, it was
Sorry,
can't
damn
yeah,
it,
it's rough.
Bleeker in his comment, he runs funny with his knees together. I don't like it. If you've got a weird like hunch or you do something weird with your body, Bleeker will notice it and he will shatter that glass for everyone.
No,
Wheelie says Bleeker, I don't see any Taker in Damian. Yeah.
No, Damian, I do enjoy his matches though. Like he's a good worker. I don't have any problem with his look, his gimmicks. Just bad on the mic, and if you're gonna push him, he has to be okay, good on the mic. Like, and if you're like the worst character that got over on the mic to me is Randy Orton. Like Randy Orton was never great on the mic. He can do it, but it's not great. If you're less than Randy Orton, like you're not good enough on the mic.
Yeah. All right, guys. Any other thoughts on that match?
Pop wants to go back to Dom's match for a second.
Oh yeah, go for it, Pop.
Dom is going to win till SummerSlam and Finn wins title with Liv's help because Liv and Finn are dating in real life.
Oh, I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought Finn was married. Okay. Interesting.
Huh. Okay.
I don't doubt that one bit.
I don't know if I'll like babyface Dom, but sure, what the hell? Let's see what happens. I mean, at this point, the fans would, if he flipped babyface and did like a cool looking shirt, people would jump all over it. They love him.
Yeah. Well, what's up with the Orton Cena stuff? Right? No, not going to be happening.
Yeah, that's a match that we're just not there yet. Up next, Big Bad, Gunther versus Pat McAfee, and I'm all right with Pat getting a good shot in the beginning, but honestly, Gunther better slap the teetotal shit out of him.
Well,
I think that Chris kind of said this before, or somebody did, that he's going to be getting Pat McAfee will get a serious injury so he can go do like football commentary. way it's going to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, well, the thing is that, like, this is going to be the reestablishing match for Gunther to be like, oh, like, see, he's a killer. Look what he did to McAfee and this and that. And I mean, they're basically, I guess, trying to right his wrong, like, I'll right the wrongs they did with him by making him kind of look just silly in the last like 2 or 3 feuds he's had. But I mean, he's already like, he's very serious and somber in his promos and everything like that. So, they're making you think he's going to go back to being like, just this nightmare. So, I mean, there's no reason. I'm with Beckerman on this one. Like, all right, get a shot in here or there, maybe like a surprise pin.
I don't even want him to fight from underneath. Like, he better not rally.
No, that's what I mean.
Like, he needs to stay hit.
Yeah. Well, like maybe he like just out of nowhere just gets like a quick roll up, and that's enough to like make Gunther angry, and then Gunther just mauls him. Like it shouldn't be, just because that's one of the things that like that WWE's kind of done over the past couple of years. It's kind of like not great, is that you have these outsiders come in that they're great athletes and everything, but they're not really wrestlers, and they just go ahead and they're being competitive against like legitimate established wrestlers. Like no, like especially someone like Gunther, like Pat McAfee has had matches before and everything like that, but like he's not an actual wrestler. Like Gunther should destroy him. Like there should be no questions asked at the end of it. Actually, you know what it should be? It should be a stoppage that has to happen. Like the ref has to stop the match because of how violent it's getting. That's what it should be.
If anybody wants to learn about the Greeks, please go to the chat and ask Comic Journey. D-Runk.
So it will be one of two things. Boston just said it. It could be a stoppage, right? Where they make him look like such a monster. They have to stop the match because Pat has been murdered in the ring, and he can take time off to go do college, game day, and all that shit. Or there'll be interference from Bill Goldberg. They teased that a few months back, and I do think that this could be the match where they reintroduce Goldberg and start a Goldberg-Gunther rivalry.
We don't.
I would be into that.
I don't need that either, but the WWE has been trying to give Goldberg a retirement match for a very long time. Mm-hmm. And the last time Goldberg was there, he interacted with Gunther. And at some point, you got to remember, like, WWE does a lot of long-term storytelling now.
Yeah.
And they plant seeds, and then they go away from it to make you forget about it, and then they bring you back to it. Like, this could be the match where Goldberg finds a way to intervene and help McAfee come out on top. So Gunther would not look weak in the process, and it will draw his attention away from McAfee, and it'll be a Goldberg-Gunther lead up to SummerSlam. Because you got to remember, College Game Day is something McAfee's into, but that doesn't come up yet. That's not until the late summer, early fall. I don't think they're going to write McAfee off just yet. Now, if they do need to write off McAfee now, that's what will happen. It is what Chris said, is Gunther will just absolutely brutalize him. It'll be a train wreck, devastating, but you got to remember, like, the kayfabe part of it, he will still be on his show on ESPN. Is he going to do that show from a hospital bed with a head wrap, like from bandages and in a cast? Like, is he gonna sell that for several months? Like, I don't think he will. I think it's going to be Goldberg coming in, and that rivalry will kick off.
If Goldberg has a match or rivalry against Gunther, the only thing I'll accept is that Goldberg gets mauled and has to leave on a stretcher. If he wins, then I'm officially finished with any long-term story booking that has to do with WWE. Like, Goldberg has no right winning anything at this age and being legitimate. And if you do that, you might as well just release Gunther the next day. It's like, well, this guy sucks. He got beat by a 50-year-old man because we just
I
caved
didn't
into
say I
this-
wanted him to lose. I just said I would be all right with it if Goldberg showed up.
Yeah, I'm
he
not
can
mad
show
at
up, but he
Goldberg.
gotta lose.
Goldberg's the guy that flatlined Brock Lesnar in less than a minute for the World Championship, so I'm not totally against him winning.
Goldberg can beat Brock Lesnar in a real fight. No, not even close.
No, I didn't say that. I said he beat him under a minute for the World Championship. That's what he did.
Yes, he beat him in under a minute. I know he did. I'm just saying, like that. That's all. Just, like the fact that you try to legitimize Goldberg against an actual UFC fighter is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. It's just like, there's no way. If he's that great, then he should be killing people in the UFC. Like it's just like that's it. Just that type of thing just bothers me. It's just like like Goldberg has no business winning, beating Gunther at all. If he does,
yeah, he does. Gunther's a
in the last 10 years, they have allowed Goldberg to run roughshod through several stars that deserve the push that they were on. He took the Universal Championship from Kevin Owens. He took it from Bray Wyatt. He beat Brock Lesnar, which was that story had to pay off because Lesnar got it back. But yeah, man, they've really OP'd Goldberg in a big way, and I don't care to see him beat Gunther. That would be dumb.
And that's the same thing I believe too. Like I just don't think that you need to feed all this talent to the talent that's gonna be there later on. You feed the like what does it do for them? It just makes them look stupid, and it's just like, okay, well, there you go. Like and that's I say, like, you might as well just release him. Like, oh, this guy sucks just because we let Goldberg.
This ain't the same Gunther that was just wrecking everybody too. He just lost to Jey Uso, so
no, but just in general, like. The point is that Gunther
he's wrestling Pat McAfee in the next pay-per-view.
Yes,
I don't know how big they are on Gunther right now.
Well, if they're trying to reestablish him as a monster, and then the first thing you're gonna do is feed him to Goldberg and let him get destroyed, like I said, you might as well just fire him. Like, so we think you got.
They're feeding him to Pat McAfee first, which is definitely a wiener match, and that's not a very strong start. So I don't know what they're doing with him exactly. They might be burying him.
Well, Comic Journey has a lot to say about Spiros, but I've got nothing to add to that. Pop, do you have something to say? And is it about Spiros? Any other thoughts on Gunther, Pat McAfee, everybody before Pop goes?
No, I said my piece.
All right, Pop, go for you. Yep, Spiros is freaking great, Katie.
Okay, enough with this bullshit. For one thing, college football don't start until fucking August.
Damn, man.
A DQ doesn't hurt Gunther one bit. Goldberg is amazing. He deserves a final match. And fuck you, Chris.
Oh, you know what? Kiss my ass. You come with that. Goldberg is not amazing. They feed him talent all the time just to make that man feel good about himself. Fuck Goldberg and his stupid ego. Like, he thinks that he's this untouchable thing. He doesn't care about wrestling. He just wants to make everybody look stupid. That's been his whole thing his entire career. He sucks. And he's awful.
Okay.
What the fuck is going on right now? We're just talking about
I don't know, Biggie. We're the last rational ones here.
Holy shit.
In between Pop and Chris, right? Goldberg, I don't think I agree. He does not care about wrestling. His character was built up so heavily in WCW that he thinks he's this unbeatable character. And WWE signing him, they had to adopt that in a way. He's not as OP'd as he was in WCW, but he's still he's a character. And they do feed him a lot of talent. They've made bad decisions with him.
Him smoking Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens and Bray Wyatt were big examples of them hurting current stars for retired legends that come back for a cheap payday. So I'm personally not a huge Goldberg fan, even though I was very much so back in the day when he was hot in WCW, but that was before I knew about wrestling. So I do, but I also agree with Pop. I do believe he deserves the final match. But he does need to job for someone on his way out. That is his that's the way he can pay back the business that has been so phenomenal to him. So he's got to put someone over and Gunther might not be the right one, because I don't think Gunther needs a Goldberg win to solidify his talent. I'd like to see him job to someone that needs that win to solidify themselves. Like maybe Damian Priest would be a good win for Goldberg, because he needs that. I know that sounds goofy, but like I think Gunther is very over with his character and his gimmick. Doesn't need to beat up on a 55-year-old man to look legitimate. They've already made Gunther look very legitimate.
I don't really think Goldberg's showing up anyway. I mean, we've talked a lot about him for a guy I don't think is going to be a part of this. But I might be wrong, because D does see this stuff coming a mile away.
You heard it here first, baby. You heard it here first.
Yeah. Well,
hit us with a breaking news, Big. Hit us with a breaking news.
I mean, this ain't like breaking news. Goldberg did have an interview, and the opponent that I saw him talking about wanting to get his last match with was actually Roman Reigns. So I know that this Gunther shit's hot right now, but I remember him saying Roman, but that's all I wanted to add in there, just for future sake, if it would happen, just to let y'all know.
No, I mean, I could see that. I mean, because you got the Battle of the Spear pretty much, like, and that makes sense.
Yeah, you talk about like long-term history talking or whatever. There's definitely he feels like Roman owes him a match.
Okay.
I wouldn't wrestle Goldberg if I was Roman Reigns. I would decline. Unless I had like one of them Saudi Arabia paychecks coming. Then I might do it.
I think that's where they wrestled last, yeah.
But then Roman does need to dominate and come out victorious.
That might be why he thinks he owes them, actually. I don't know exactly all the details, but all right.
Up next, we got the Women's Intercontinental Championship, Lyra Valkyria versus Becky Lynch.
Oh, wow.
Does anybody
say Liberia?
Lyra Valkyria. Lyra Valedictorian.
Libya? No, I'm just
Labia.
I think Becky Lynch, like the way people hate Charlotte, I hate her. I don't know over her. How's that? That's my turn.
Wow. When I get to go, I think I'm going to change your opinion on that one, just because. Did you have anything else to say about that?
I'm good. I don't think you'll say anything that's going to switch me, but go for it. All
right. So here's the deal. And again, I don't bring this up to make you angry. I'm just telling you what people have been saying, what the comparison is for her WrestleMania coming back and just winning a title instantly. And a lot of people saying that she's pulling politics. So after WrestleMania, and it's been going on for a while, they've started calling her Becky Hogan. Like that's the whole deal with her. They keep saying Becky Hogan, this and that. So now that's why I say it might change your mind. I don't know if they're gonna, if the crowd being saying, "Oh, she's just like Hogan," and she's
I don't think that's changing Biggie's mind.
No, don't make me really want to jump on her. I haven't liked her for a while.
No, well, she like, I mean, I just look at it where it's like, with all the backlash that's happened, I mean, I highly doubt she's gonna win. She won't win the title. She might win.
Pun intended.
There you go. The pay-per-view name.
Yeah. No, I think that she yeah, with all that happening, I can't see her winning just because it just feeds into that. And, unless they're gonna do it just to make people angry and keep her trending in that negative way. But I think that as far as this match goes, I mean, it'll be. I feel like it's also been thrown together so quickly that there's no real stakes in it. I mean, it just is what it is. I think that this will be the one that people kind of just tune out or do something else while just because there's not much to it. Like there's other storylines in the women's division that makes more sense, but I think that this is just I think that they'll have Lyra retain just to not have more heat on Becky from the fans, from the whole she comes back and just wins championships point of view. But I think that it's good though if she's going to stay being a heel to have that heat, and if potentially she's going to join with Seth and Paul Heyman and that little group. I mean, but overall though, I think that Lyra's going to win that.
That's a good point, Chris. They have been saying that.
Hey, I don't care about the match, but they did make the belt, right? The women's Intercontinental and the women's United States belts. They need to feature those belts more if they're going to exist. They ignored both belts on WrestleMania. So if you're going, I don't care what they do with the match. If those belts are going to be around and you're selling them on WWEshop.com for $300 a piece, you got to make that belt relevant in some type of way. To me, putting it on Becky Lynch might sell merch. It might sell more title, people buying the belt. Becky doesn't obviously need it, but I don't really care about that match at all. But I do, I look at that like, hey, you have that belt there, do something with it. What are you doing with it? And now Becky Lynch is going to compete for it. Okay, maybe she wins it. Is she going to be happy with the mid-card belt? I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you, because Lyra, I think most people don't even know who Lyra Valkyria fully is, so that might be hurting that belt a little bit. Where it's just you have somebody with a championship that's relatively unknown. It's just coming out, and there's next to no competition for it. So that is a good point. I mean, that's a good point to sway it Becky's way to get more eyes on that title, but we'll see.
Well, and Becky has people do call her Becky Hogan, but she has jobbed for a lot of people.
Yes,
and done a lot of favors in the ring. So I would agree that
on her way up too, she paid a ton of dues.
Yeah, yes. No, she has done a ton, and maybe, dude, some people get boisterous not because they need their character to go over, but because they care about the business and they want things to go well. It's one of the things that haunted Bray Wyatt. He wasn't always about putting himself over. He was about hey, let's do something cool. Let's do something fun. Let's make something interesting. And CM Punk very much the same. It's not always about putting yourself, doing business for yourself. You're trying to enhance the product. And I think Becky might be in that camp. She cares about wrestling. She went to NXT for a while and fucking won their belt and then got, jobbed for someone. So, we'll see what happens. I have no prediction for that match.
I don't either.
Becky puts Lyra over, and the whole Becky Hogan BS is so wrong. I would look up to Becky more than Charlotte at this point if I was a woman.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Charlotte.
that's Pop. Yeah, Charlotte. So, man, we're mean.
Yeah.
I really don't have any opinion on this match. I like Becky Lynch enough. I liked her better earlier in her career. She's got that problem I have with Charlotte Flair is they look like different people now. They've obviously had work done. And I liked Becky when she had the orange hair and the weird steampunk goggles. Like, I liked that Becky Lynch. I was even okay with her when she was Becky Two Belts and the Man and all of that. I was okay with it. But I don't think she'll ever be better to me than steampunk Becky Lynch. But anyway, Comic Journey wishes people would talk about the Greeks. We're not. We're going to talk about John Cena, who I don't think's Greek, and Randy Orton, who I don't believe is Greek either, and the undisputed WWE Championship.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I mean, Cena's got to win, right?
Yeah. I see him. I see him taking that. But I mean, you have a great setup for a match. So I will say this much. I kind of hope that this isn't a one and done. I hope that like this is a match that they have. But I do like if you're looking for people that Cena could drop the belt to, I definitely think it would be great to see him drop it to Randy. Not right now, but on his way out, his last match, like the guy that he basically started in the company together with, takes the belt from him, and he's the guy that brings it back to the company. That I think is a great way to do the story. I'm not nothing against Cody, but I definitely think that Randy benefits more from beating Cena on his way out.
What about Biggie Shaq? What do you think?
Oh, you know what? I don't care to be wrong. If I could pick something that I'd really like to see and be right, I would enjoy a lot more than not taking a risk at all. So I'm gonna go Randy Orton winning, dude. Cool. I think that if he was I think if Cena was gonna, put someone over, it would be Orton. So I'm gonna go with fuck it. He's putting him over. That's my prediction. Fuck wrestling history and all the tropes and shit.
D-Runk?
I think that Cena will retain. I wish they would give it to Orton. Orton is one of my top 4 favorites. He never left the company. He's been there whenever his shoulder isn't dislocated. He's been there. I love Randy Orton so much. I always have. I was a big mark for DDP, all because of his finisher. And I love the RKO so much. He's done so many cool things. And Orton has jobbed for so many people. He put over Jinder Mahal.
Hey, don't hinder the gender.
Yeah, no, I hinder the fuck out of him, dude. I want I thought Orton should have been the one to end Undertaker's streak. I think his career would have benefited from it the most.
Yep.
I hated that they gave that to Brock, and I love Brock. I'm not against Brock. Brock didn't need it. But yeah, it's no. I want Orton to get it. I doubt that they will.
Yeah, I agree with you about basically everything you just said. I never cared for the Brock being the one to end the streak either, but I want to get sidetracked there. Pop, who is muted. All right, I'll give you a minute. Yeah, as I said at the beginning, I really do think Cena wins, but God, it'd be great to see Randy do it.
It's the only thing that pushes me towards Randy is we didn't see this coming. Why Randy now? Cena isn't exactly the most predictable or reliable talent. And you know, it seems like that's the most special match you could pull out of a Cena championship run is Randy Orton. This is it, dude. This is a big deal.
Yep. Yeah. No, I'm there for it. I'll enjoy that match no matter what happens, I'm sure. Both guys are pros. Randy's one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. He's definitely in the conversation for top 5 for me, especially for modern era. Like, he's probably in my top 3.
So do you think that? Do you think that he wins it at all, though? Do you think that he's the one that basically like Cena will drop to at the end?
I think Cena would. I think Cena would. Go Pop. You're good, buddy.
Cena win. I want Cena to lose it to CM Punk, and I want CM Punk versus Cody at WrestleMania 42.
Okay.
Just put it up AEW's ass.
That would be one to get him. Yeah.
If
you wanted a match to throw in AEW's face, that would be it. That would 100%
Cody and Cena.
Cody versus
Cody
Punk at WrestleMania.
Cody versus Punk. Yeah. Okay, I got you. No, I think that is a good match is Punk versus Cena, because that's always kind of been a thing. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we are well over an hour. Let's wrap it up. I know Boston Chris has graphic content to go get to. If you want to wrap it out of here, Chris, I'll let you go first on the wrap up here.
All right. Yeah, I can do that.
Where are you going to be, Boston Chris? Where are you going to be?
So directly after this show, we will be live. Me and Hudat will be doing a graphic content tonight. Let's see. Saturday is going to be the Hunt. We have Bleeker's Church on Sunday. And if I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to be either next Saturday or the Saturday after. It's going to be a Band of Brothers live sale. So, looking to get some good books, come check us out on that. But that's what I have coming up, immediately. Just show right after this, Hunt on Saturday, Bleaks on Sunday, and then Band of Brothers at some point, either this week, next week or the week after. Yeah, 24th. There we go, 24th. So that's what I got going on.
All right, Biggie Shaq, where are you going to be?
I got the 2 to 4. I got with me and TM and sometimes Bleeker. I got book club. We will be doing Justice League of America 69, which was D. Runk's choice, the second part of Doomsday series, Death of Superman. Looking forward to that. That's going to be great. Book club or collector club. Friday, we will have another Undervalued World Championship. I am the defending champion. I am the greatest undervalued book predictor, speculator in the history of the universe at this point. There's nothing anybody can even try to say to debate that. And I will be putting my championship up Friday. So looking forward to that, man. And you can catch me on other channels, And shout outs to my man D Runk for hopping on Sweet Chin Music again. I really appreciate having D on.
I do too. Thank you.
And so Chris. Much. Sorry, Chris. Yes, I like Chris too.
D, are you gonna be there for your goodbye speech here?
I'm on. My camera got goofy. I'm alive. I will be. If you see me on YouTube, it will be on the network or on Sweet Chin Music.
Sweet, man.
Or on AEW. They've been desperate lately.
I mean, at the rate they're going, they might need you, D. If they can afford you.
They might not be able to.
Hey, Tony Khan's dad's money spends just as good as anyone's. But anyway, guys, for me, you can see me on the Hucklebuck on Tuesdays. We've got a few more Oops All Beckermans coming at you. I'm here on Thursdays, 4C Comics on Tuesdays. God, some weeks it feels like I never stop doing YouTube. And I watch Biggie Shaq's afternoon show at work. Like, I keep it on. It keeps me company in the back stretch of my day. I just have him and TM talking in my ear, and it's great. I also think the club Friday night, you'd be a fool not to catch it. And Sunday you can see me at church, and maybe you'll see me on the hunt. I don't think we're on this week, but who knows? You might get an update. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. Papa Wheelie, where are you gonna be, buddy? Right here? Playing video games. He'll probably be on that Band of Brothers auction.
That's right. Selling them books.
Selling those books. And you'll see him here every Thursday. So get us the heck out of here, Pop. Thank you, everybody in the chat that stopped by tonight. We had a very active chat, and some of it wasn't CJ.
Hey, baby.
In line is fucking over for you. Get your ass off my screen.